Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you America's top foundational health coach, Dr. Joe D.
Hey there, I'm Dr. Jody Bear, and we are coming in hot, hot, hot. You know that song, hot, hot, hot? We're coming in hot. You know why? Because we've got a guest on Life's Milkshake Moments that you will say, oh, I got to listen to this again. Because when I first met her, I went, oh, that's what you will feel. And you will see. And I want to say thank you for feeling us, seeing us, and being a part of us now in our fourth season on Life's Milkshake Moments, because life is like a milkshake. Choose your ingredients wisely. And when you do, life will be, oh, so sweet. We had Doctor Talk this morning. If you missed that live recording, just go to Healthopedia 365, click on Doctor Talk, because what did we play in our health sandbox today? What we played with was anxiety. Let's get the elephant out of the room. Let's talk about it. Stress is stress, but it's what we do with that stress that makes all the difference. And let's get the elephant out of this room, shall we? That, as you know, it would have been 49 years that I was in practice this past September. I sold my practice 5 years ago. Thought I retired, and I have so unretired. It's just like Dr. Bill Janicek, who was the forwarding of our latest book, Quintessential Quotes and Quips for Healthy Living. He said, the only thing that Jody Bear doesn't do well is retire. And I unretired. I didn't have anything, but I had hope. You've heard the story about where hope comes from. I was singing the background vocals for Alicia Williamson. Being a classically trained vocal musician, I kind of did that all, but I'd never won a Grammy. So I can say that I'm a Grammy Award winner. I never did this. How many times you say, I never. Well, our guest, Marianne Gallasco tonight, has invented, and reinvented herself because of her spiritual journey. Foundational health. You know, when we talk about it in this book, our Healthopedia first book, The Horseshoe, takes you around spiritual. Then it goes to mental, emotional, then physical, financial, and social. Why is that important? Because when you go in to the spiritual, everything else fits in line. Marianne's going to feel this with her every pore of her Kundalini yoga persona. And I can't say that word. She's a really big yoga person, but she's a really big heart. You see, when you start with the spiritual, and then in the traditional 5 elements of traditional Chinese medicine, you end with social, and those are your bookends. Mental and physical fall in line. So she starts with the spiritual. She is such a soulful creature. Then you end with financial, because that's the change maker in the world. I had a mentor one time that said, good things happen to people that have money. You know why? Because good people do good things with their money. And now that we're starting up with our 4th season in Healthopedia, as you well know, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for supporting our sponsors. Thank you in advance. Just like NPR and other promotional items of just being a part of this health initiative, because when you have your health, you have everything. We came back to it over and over and over again. And yes, I'm keeping up my Greece backdrop for one more time. Why? Because we're going to have a little reprise of Greece, because our lovely, lovely soulmate here was a Greece Crete-mate. And why is this important? Because we said your success in life is found in your daily routine. You will hear that. You will experience this with Marianne Gallasco. So what I'm saying is experience her experiences, share it with a friend, comment and share and be a part of this health movement that's become a mission to fruition. This is critical. When you know that it's like what Les Brown says, no, that it is necessary for you to do what only you can do. Go about it as though your life depends on it, because at the end of the day, it does. That's how she lives and lived her life prior. This is how you will too, because you have been a part of life's milkshake moments tonight. But I want to give a big, big round of applause to one of our sponsors, Dame Doria Cordova, founder of Money and You. She did her life's milkshake moment with her Money and You book. The first of 6 volumes was released yesterday, Amazon bestseller in Asia, of course, because she's got that great, great following in the Asia Pacific Rim, and then in the US, of course. So let's listen, take a look, take a feel, and I'm going to say a big shout out to our own Dame Doria Cordova of Money and You.
Money and You is the longest running entrepreneurial, experiential, transformational training in the world. And we have been impacting the lives of over 200,000 graduates from over 85 countries since 1979. I am Doria Cordova and I own Money and You. And I would like to invite you to join us to the next program, where you will have an opportunity to be with a group of people that will all be immersed in experiential games, where you have an opportunity to clear any blocks that you may have to really creating wealth and doing good. But at the same time, learn the business success model, which really immerses you into a conversation about leverage. Leverage is key in creating wealth and doing good. And we have the results to show that this program works. People like Tony Robbins, Robert Kiyosaki of Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Ben Cohen of Ben and Jerry's, and many others have attended this program and changed their lives and created new industry and are some of the most well-known change makers in the world. Thank you. Aloha. Bye-bye.
I first had up there January 14th through 17th, 29, 26, but the effects will last that long, for real, for real, for real, with Money and You, because good people do good things with their money. Congratulations against our beautiful, beautiful dame. And now I'm going to say, get ready, fasten your seatbelts, because this spiritual edition of Life's Milkshake Moments is ready to take off. A beautiful, beautiful, as she said, disciple of Padre Pio. She's going to talk about that. Her spontaneous healing. She's a Hadron healer herself. Feeling her life is what you will feel when you're around Marianne Gallasco. She's recreating her next life moment as an art broker and a yacht broker, coming to this channel and our family soon. But what she is a true, as Leo Buscaglia calls it, and calls people that we're spiritual beings in a human experience. When you feel Marianne, you feel her spirit. When you see her, you feel her spirit. But I love what she said. I said, Marianne, this is just so cool. And I brought it to my attention. It was just lovely. It was just lovely, lovely, lovely. And it said, this is her MO. When I get pushed down, I always get back up stronger. My light is my treasure. My forgiveness is the key to my joy. And oh, isn't this just like live TV? Marianne, where did you go? We'll see you again soon. I'll just keep talking. You know, I can do that easily. Forgiveness is my key to joy, along with a heart wide open. So let's just go ahead and say, I wasn't frozen. Maybe it was on your side, but we're not part of Ariel or whatever. Come back on, Marianne, and it will be absolutely amazing. I will say we had a time in Crete. Until she comes back, I'm going to get in Crete, and then we'll have her experience in Crete. You know, Dr. Jim and I, we did all kinds of advertising. We just look for a few good people, just a few. That to me is very, very important. After all, we had this guy that walked the earth that was, since we're talking about the spiritual experience here, he truly, truly didn't sin. And he only had 12 people. Well, he changed the world. That's why Dr. Jim's model of ours is this. We start with a select few and we grow from there. We will have our 100 to be world changers. So if this is you, please just check us out. We'll have this a little bit later. I'm still waiting for Marianne. I'm sure she will be here in Aruba, March 22nd to 29. My goodness gracious. It is a time right now. If you go to our website or contact me at Healthopedia 365, just put it in here, Healthopedia 365, and well, I know Mary. I'm not sure why she's going to be back on here. I'm just going to talk through all of our promotions, and when she comes back on, we'll see her for sure. But if you go to Healthopedia 365, you can register, and there'll be a special discount code because right now, through the end of this month, it will be 50% off. Truly, a week. All expenses paid, all excursions paid. All you got to do is get yourself to Aruba. As we said, recreate, renew, and restore in Crete. We have our 3, thanks to Jamie Kerr. What will our 3 things be right now? Awareness, alignment, and abundance in Aruba. It's going to be a week unlike any other. So we're going to go to our commercial break of where I kind of feel like, goodness, I feel like where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Are we just going to say where in the world is Dr. Jody Bear? Well, this next week, I'm going to be in Dubai. Why? Why am I going to be in Dubai? Because it's always the power of one. The power of one with this beautiful, beautiful soul of Princess Marianne Gallasco. That was the power of one that I met through Dr. Nefertina. You know, the infamous when time meets destiny, miracles happen. What was the miracle that happened with her? Well, I can truly say it was a beautiful, beautiful time where they even asked, and I'm going to say reboot. Marianne's just going to reboot her computer. It'll be there. No worries. So what happened was the people at Pep Boys asked me after my 90-minute oil change, air conditioning flush, was you talking to your sister? I said, yes. Well, I'd never met Dr. Nefertina. Dr. Nefertina introduced me to Princess Gallasco. Now, the power of one, and that's through the infamous Les Brown, Kim Jacobs, Dr. Nefertina now. And you know, Princess Marianne is in our book, The Essence of a Woman. She invited me to be one of her keynote speakers in Dubai. We're going to be doing a health panel with Deb Simpson from MedX in San Francisco and Sacramento, and the 2 guys that are in Dubai right now from Little Rock that I met, Taha Mohammed Kerwin, who is the envoy and the Middle Eastern envoy for the Harvard Business School. And he also heads up the economic forum for the king and the royal family in Qatar. If we know that, we know enough. But beautiful Ambassador Sheikh Mohammed. Well, Sheikh, he went ahead and he's actually going ahead and coming on the social pillar of health. So just take a look take a feel, take a listen. First Ladies Forum, take a plane, train, automobile, all of the above, and join us at the First Ladies Forum in Dubai, UAE, starting this Monday. There we go. Speakers, speakers, speakers everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. And frankly, we have got this figured out. Marianne's going to be here just a moment. She's going to use her tablet. Marianne, use your phone. It's going to be great. But this is what I know. These women from all over the world, and actually Miss Universe is going to be with us. I'm going to make sure that when I stand next to her, I'm going to say, I'm in high self-esteem. I'm in house self-esteem. Beautiful Maggie Ballou and this bevy of beautiful women. But there's a little bit of announcement from Princess Marianne. I've been invited the first week in December to go to Nigeria because her father, unfortunately, has passed away. But she is going to be lauded and crowned the Queen of Nigeria. Won't that be amazing? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to be in Nigeria, and then I'm going to be home for a while. But I want to just give, while Marianne is figuring out her tablet, and she'll get on here in a minute, it was just amazing when she said this part. She said to me about, you're so real, Jody. Marianne said this. And you know what I say that REAL stands for. It's results with enthusiasm and an abundance mentality and love. You put this with that spiritual connection and soul connection of traditional Chinese medicine and put mental and emotional inside of that. There we have magic, because the finances happen. That's what I'm going to be bringing to this First Ladies Forum. It will be leadership, technology, government, economics, and health. Those are the 5 particular venues that we're going to have. But what I love so much, when you have your health, you have it all. That's what we do with Dr. Jim. This is what we did in Crete, knowing that it can have increased intelligence, absolutely, without a doubt, greater and more expansive longevity. And then guess what? You boost it up, and you have an absolutely amazing thing when it comes to amazingness. Oh, here we are. And you know what? That was right on cue. It was amazingness. So just sit in your chair. I'm going to let you get settled a minute here, Marianne. I knew you would be back, honey. No problem. So I'm going to just say this one thing. And it's so important. Just a little bit further down. I want to see the top of your head. I don't want you to be beheaded.
There you go.
There we go. But when you bring this amazingness into somebody, said that was so on cue. And that's when life happens and amazing things happen when you're in real relationship. Tony, you're not going to photobomb this. Goodbye.
I wasn't trying to. I was fixing, and then I saw myself. Hi guys, Tony Jim Cadoti. It's all about Marianne today.
No, you're not. This is the girl show. Sorry. Bye. This is about. So what I was talking about is this, Marianne, and you just never know. Don't kiss me anymore. I'm all done with you. But Marianne, when you know that you're going through, think about what we learned in Crete. This was so such the thing. I mean, everything you've done and accomplished as a woman, what you've done, Tony, I'm going to tell you one more time. Do not fix her lighting anymore. It's distracting. She's just fine. Oh my goodness. Please, I'd like to have a show, please. I've been asking for 7 minutes.
It's fun now. Come on, Jay. Let's roll.
No. This is live TV. They wouldn't be doing this at Fox News. Team, I see your forehead. I see your forehead, Tony. I see your forehead. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Because it's very important that people know that it's spiritual and then soulful. In between, it is truly, truly that mental mindset and emotional mindset. But when we combine it, then we get the 5, and it's a force for change. Marianne, that's what, when I said I even brushed and flossed,
Right.
when I really did with you, because I wanted to prepare, because you are one of those soulful beings that is such a light in the world that cannot be stopped. As you were going between, people do wardrobe changes. Oh, what does Marianne do? She just does computer changes. And I read she just does that routine. It was so cool. I said, Marianne, give me what is the epitome of you when we were in Crete. And you said, when I get pushed on, I always come back stronger. See, so much for that computer. I have another one. My light is my treasure. Yes, it is. And I will say to just tab it down, because I'm seeing your ceiling. I want to see you. Bring it
Oh,
closer in.
there.
There. That's right. Do not
Okay.
move it. Do not pass go, could not collect $200. Okay. But forgiveness is the key to joy, along with a heart wide open. That's what you are. Oh, no. Yeah, and your heart wide open. Let's just go ahead, and I want you to see, with a heart wide open. You didn't hear the story of how, when I was sitting, and Dr. Nefertina said, I want to have something, give you someone for our last book. This was a year and a half ago. And she said, I've got the perfect person. Guess who it was? It was Princess Marianne Ogalana. I had no idea. You never know what kind of a blessing. Isn't that true? You don't know what kind of a blessing. It's out. And when I saw that line of First Ladies Forum, I'm going, that's how I felt about you when I first met you. I'm thinking, she's so beautiful, and so just, you just aired such presence and light. And I'm thinking I can use that in when I meet the Miss Universe, who is actually from Dubai. So I'll be thinking of you then.
Oh,
And
right. Thank you.
yes, I
That's a
really will.
compliment.
Yes, yes, yes. So, welcome to Life's Milkshake Moments. I could go on and on and on about you, dear, but what I want you to go on and on is about your story and your background, please. And let's get into that health crisis, shall we?
Sure. Like, you want to ask a direct question, or do you want me to just start from the
I just
beginning?
asked you as direct
Okay.
question as I want.
Okay.
What was your story, and how did you get to that point of having that health crisis? But we need a
Well,
little back.
I have to say, I think it was energetic. I do. I think it was a lot of energy that was stored in, because it was a stomach issue, intestinal, diverticulitis, but that was not the big cross that I had to bear. What it was really the infection that came with the diverticulitis. It was basically, it was a miracle that I wasn't septic at any given point through my entire illness. But the abscess went through my entire body. But it was mostly in, like, there was a very big concentration of it in my back, and that was underneath the organs, and then superficially underneath the skin of my stomach.
See, and that whole thing, for those of you that don't know, and you've heard me say a little bit if you've been following me enough, when you get a disease, it's because your body is ill at ease. And there was something, a manifestation, something emotionally that brought you to that place, and it manifested in your
Mhm.
bottom chakra. Now they said you're being here for a while, didn't they? The doctors.
Honestly, they were skeptical, not skeptical, but my surgeon was the best in Philadelphia, with the one I ended up with. I don't think I would have been able to, anyone else could have handled me, because everything was so tricky with me. I had more apparatuses attached to me than you could possibly imagine. They had to put a colostomy bag on. I had drains. I had just if I don't even want to go too into just too descriptive.
No.
It, yeah,
You have these, if you have tubes in you,
right.
and so this is how I want to go from this. So you have tubes. If you have tubes, this isn't a Kundalini yoga master that does this and everything else that you were doing, a mom of two boys and everything else that has tubes. You're a young woman, you know tubes. So
Right.
they took this x-ray. This is what you said that was so riveting and creepy to me. They took this x-ray. What did they find?
Well, what happened is the first x-ray the week before, they found a fistula, and the fistula would have been bad enough on its own because I would have never had a healthy intestine, which I would have had to keep this colostomy bag. So they asked me to come back a week later for another CT scan. So I did see the fistula for myself. And then when I went back, I had a feeling that the drains weren't working because there was nothing in the drains. So that's what they were hoping it would pull out the infection. So after my CT scan, they really don't say anything to you when you're up getting a CT scan. They're not supposed to. So 5 minutes later, I walked downstairs to radiology, which I got to know the radiologist who had, they grew fond of me. Let's put it that way. I saw the sad faces on everybody as I walked in, that very depressed, sad face. So I knew something was going on. And at that moment, I was at peace if I was going to die. And I had a feeling that's what was going to happen. So the top radiologist, Dr. Fabrizio from Penn Medicine, came in. He had tears in his eyes. He was welling up and he was telling me, this is the worst. And this is so bad. I can't even explain to you what's going on. The abscess now is all over your body. He goes, how do you feel? I'm like, I feel better than what you're explaining because Marianne, you don't look like your CT scan. Because my hair was done, I had my makeup on, and no matter how sick I was, I kept my
Marianne being like Miss Universe in the hospital. I can see that.
I had all this stuff on, but I did my hair, makeup. So anyway, I said, please, I really want to see what's going on. I wasn't nervous though, and I wasn't upset because at that time I was at peace of going home, meaning going back to the Father. So, and that took some time and a lot of prayer, but that's another story. So I went into the radiology room. I laid down. The nurse was very gentle with me. She was holding my hand and stroking my hand. And I could see the other radiologist behind the glass looking at the CT scan for a second time. And I saw their hands flailing in the air. They were basically flipping out, And I personally just was thinking they were feeling really bad for me. Like, what the heck? And why is this happening to her? Whatever. And I was keeping the nurse company. And she was really trying to comfort me, but I didn't need her comfort. Honestly, I say that with all humility. I say that with God's grace. I say that with a lot of God's grace because that's what was going through my body. So Fabrizio came out. He had tears in his eyes, started pulling my tubes and my drains out, saying, "You no longer need this." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And he said, "What? You don't need it." I said, "Do you mean the fistula is gone?" Because I saw that the week before. I didn't see what he was saying. He said, "It's gone." And then I said, "Well, what about everything else?" He goes, "Everything is gone. What was there is now gone."
You had a spontaneous healing.
Spontaneous healing.
Like when I walked out of the hospital after being paralyzed from the shoulders on down, because this is one of the things I knew I needed to give to you about what my mother said to me when I was face down in a halo, couldn't move, couldn't feel. And she said, the doctors only see what they see. Jody, they don't know who you are. Those Dr. Fabrizio might have been the greatest surgeon in the world, but they didn't know who you were until that moment. And now it's documented, I'm sure, with the AMA and this MA, and we just go hip, hip, hooray. Wow, wow, double wow. Are you ready to see a little bit of recreate and create for a commercial break here?
Yes.
Because this forgiveness brings joy with a heart wide open. Now, this particular video, I will say, Tri-City Works. This is the creation of Robert Towns. I gave him all of, maybe 30 minutes to do this. So it's Tri-City Works. I'm having a little issue typing tonight. Tri-City Works, and he is absolutely one of a kind. And he said, don't judge me on this work. Miss Jody gave me like 30 minutes, but it just shows you what the love, what the energy, and why I said, and then we're going to have a break after we talk about Greece. It's always the power of one, just like Les Brown, my coaching mentor, Kim Jacobs sent me Dr. Nefertina, that sent me Princess Murati and Ogulana. All of a sudden, I'm being her MC at the First Ladies Forum in Dubai, UAE. On Sunday. Crazy, because it's the power of one. That is what Tony, the dream maker, Dodie, did for me, bringing you in to this experience. And yes, it's going to be a little bit like home movies tonight. Just get used to it. There we go. There we go. There we go. So absolutely. And you know, the guy that just keeps popping his head in, when Tony, energetically, I knew that you were supposed to be part of this tribe. I knew that you were supposed to be, Tony. I'm not going to bring your advertisement if I see you again, you and Christina, right? My sponsors aren't expecting this, but it's really the truth. It was so amazing to say, and I told Tony this, and what a support they are. They came to your condo, getting you set up, all of that. Amazing. But what happened, absolutely, Marianne, that was so important that I kept saying, because I was hearing and channeling this, that you were to be in Greece. I said, Tony, are you going to be there? Tony, are you going to be there? Tony, I don't know who this Marianne person was, and you were there. What was that like for you?
It was an amazing experience. A couple of weeks prior to Tony asking me, I heard through my heart, you need to be in Greece. And I'm like, what is this about? Because I had my big trip in Italy. And, right, exactly. But Greece was such a clearing experience. It was bonding with everybody, and it became family. The people that we were with were just amazing. And you and Dr. Jim were over the charts, knowledgeable, and just so much I learned from you, and I learned from everyone that was there. They're so powerful, and all of them had such a high vibration that you cannot but not learn from everyone. And it was good to sit back and to receive the way I did. So I appreciated that so much. But I have cleared some things that have been very difficult for me to clear. So I have to say thank you to that. And I would suggest anyone who's thinking of the Aruba retreat to please go do it. It is life-changing.
Because I think about what Jamie said, and and I love his quote. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with the team. But if you want to go fast and far, go with the right people. Tony, Christina, you are, and you remain to be the right people. I mean, surely, that is just a testimony to that. And I think the testimony to you of being a heart wide open. I want to make this about you. And thanks for the kudos and the compliments. But the most important thing is that you came in, as your quote said, that with a heart wide open. It was so, and you were just ready to go in. I remember sitting at the table in Greece, and just gotten in and said, okay, so I'm ready to go around. I want to learn about everybody. And Jamie just sat back and he said, we've got a whole week. Because that's just you. You just go down in like you do a downward dog, do a headstand, do this stand, and whatever. But it was your galactic appearance. And I brought up just for a little of reprise. I thought it would be really fun for everyone to see your slides when you were a speaker. And that spiritual warfare, light and redemption, forgiveness brings joy with a heart wide open. Tell us about, we really didn't get into this iconography of Padre Pio. Tell us about this. For if this is a spiritual pillar of health, I wanted you to see this graphic. Tell us about this.
About Padre Pio?
Yes, tell us about this graphic that we're just seeing right here, right now. What is it, and where can it be found, and how is this connected
Well,
to Padre Pio?
one of my favorite things to do is be an adorer of adoration. So that's when they have the Eucharist on display. And the Eucharist was on display at the shrine in Bartow, Pennsylvania, Padre Pio's national shrine in Bartow, Pennsylvania. And I was looking at it, and it turned blue. And I was with my prayer partner, Penny. But I did have blue tinted glasses on. So I kind of attributed, oh, maybe it's my blue tinted sunglasses, because they're not really sunglasses, they're indoor outdoor glasses. But it was that same shade of blue. And I knelt in front of it, and I turned to Penny. I'm like, do you think it's okay if I take a photo? And she goes, yeah, everybody takes photos. Take a photo. So I took a photo, and I sat down, and I said, the Eucharist was blue. And she thought I was just having a moment. And I showed her the photo, and it was blue, but it wasn't blue for her. She didn't, I'm seeing blue. It's on the camera as blue, but she saw it, the color that it actually was is white. And then inside the Eucharist, there was a vision of Padre Pio, the Holy Spirit dove, and like an angelic picture. I've had other Eucharistic visions before. There's many Eucharistic visions going on, so many. And Carlos, he's from Italy. He had documented a young man, 18 something or 20 years old. He's nearly going to be a saint. Has documented all of them. So there's the Eucharist that bleeds. There's so many different Eucharistic miracles. So that was a Eucharistic miracle, but I've had other ones.
But you are just a miracle. You bring up what I always said, and then Dr. Jim added something when we were at the Hamptons. So we were driving into Hamptons. I said, the body is a miracle making machine. It can and will heal itself. Always said, you healed yourself. But then he added, like he wants to do, he said, because you are the miracle. See, you just proved that you are the miracle, and you are the miracle seeing that blue. Is that why you wore a blue shirt tonight and you've got blue behind you? It must be your favorite color or something. I mean,
I do love blue. But I have my two directors here telling me that blue is the perfect color for a camera also. But the Madonna is known for blue. So I kind of try to
be Padre Pio,
that's my spiritual father. Yay. Yes, isn't that beautiful?
I brought Padre Pio is in the podcast house. Tell us a little bit about him, since I am a faith-believing Christian, but I'm not Catholic. I'm sure this would be very interesting to people.
Well, he crosses all religions. He's a mystic. He died in 1968. So he's of this time. He was born in Pietrelcina in Italy, and he lived most of his life in San Giovanni Rotondo in Italy. I love visiting him when I'm in Italy. His body's uncorrupt, so his face is actually perfect. He looks so peaceful and happy. It's beautiful to look at. So I really highly suggest anybody who's in Italy to go to San Giovanni Rotondo to visit him. You will get a lot of graces and a lot of blessings. But he has been by my side. I had an obsession to learn as much as possible I could about him. Everything was going fine. I had no illness, no death, no real issues. But I had this yearning to know everything I possibly could. So I read all of his books, all of his stories. He's written so much. He fought darkness. That was what he was known for ever since he was a child. He was attacked and he fought it. But he fought it with humility and being humble and peaceful. And he never took credit for anything. He's the most beautiful human being, and probably, in my opinion, the greatest saint of all time. So I know there's a lot out there, and everyone has their favorite if they're Catholic. But Padre Pio is fun. Even the yogis love Padre Pio. Everyone loves Padre Pio. When you learn about him, you can't not learn love him. He had all the stigmatas of Christ. So he had every wound that Christ had. So he had the wounds in his hands that he received 50 years before his death. When he received it the first time, he rejected it. He didn't want it. He cried. He begged the Lord to take it away, and the Lord did. And then he received it soon after that again. And he did accept it. So, and the Lord told him, you're going to keep these wounds for 50 years. And, basically he died on the anniversary of the 50th day of the wounds. But the Catholic Church felt that he imposed this on himself. So they had a lot of scientific doctors coming in, checking him. And he really was under attack by everyone. He was always poked at, made fun of. He really he carried a very heavy cross, but the wound that hurt him the most was the one on his shoulder. And that was the wound of carrying a cross, where Jesus had a wound from carrying it up so anyway, that was the wound that hurt him the most. But his wounds on his hands were the most humiliating to him because they bled so much, and he kept them covered up. So people wouldn't see it, but they had a fragrance, and that's why you see these flowers in the background, of violets, of floral. So some people, including myself, you can smell that when he's when he's present. So you have a floral smell, and then Padre Pio is in the room or close by. And if you smell cigars, it's a sign from him to tell you need to pray a little more. So he's very active in hospitals. He started a hospital called For the Sick and the Suffering in San Giovanni Rotondo, and he made it absolutely beautiful. He said sick people need to be around beauty, not ugly hospital. And he made that hospital absolutely stunning. So everyone who was sick that went in there was in a beautiful environment. So I went to the hospital as well. I visited that. I can't say enough about him. I could go on and on. So you only have an hour show. I don't
the idea, it's anything in life, especially with the spirituality, like fix like, because I didn't smell cigars around you. I truly, I mean, and I don't think it was your perfume, and I know it wasn't your hairspray because we didn't have blow dryers, and we didn't have blow dryers. Perfume. I love grease, but the blow dryers went like this. They went. It
wasn't a blow dryer.
Yeah, it was just a little poof. But you always had this beautiful fragrance because it is your spirit, and that's what that spiritual being in a human body, that spiritual experience, and that's you. And so I can truthfully say that I am happy that as I was putting this all together, whether there's 300 or 2, there is preparation, and that I could be around my spirit and keep hounding Tony. I said, she's with us. I just know it. And it bolsters my faith to know when it's right. And frankly, I know that bolstering faith, that I could go on and on about Tony and Christina. Tony's my third son. Christina's my first daughter. That's just the way I feel about them. And maybe but you're going to know a little bit, yes, that it was, you're not allowed to come back in, Tony, until I say, or you're not supposed to come back in. Don't come back in.
We love you.
I won't show you. I won't show the promo for your movie. But the idea is when you meet somebody and they have that. I loved what you said about Greece. You said it was galactic. Before I go into this, why did you use that word? That is not something you would just pull out and say, "Oh, I had a galactic experience." What really made you pick that word?
Because it was divine. It was, they were all divine interviews. They were all divine appointments. So when I was interested in meeting every single person and getting to know their story, because I knew it was a divine appointment and I wanted to know. And yeah, there was just such a presence in the retreat room of, you can feel the angels. You felt heaven. You felt, there was a very thin veil there with us. So there wasn't much of a disconnect at all because everyone had open hearts. It wasn't just me. We all had big, huge hearts. And we were all there. Yes. So having a collective group of people that are like-minded like that in one room, that are praying, that are learning, that are really seeking, is huge.
And so, you know, should we let Christina and Tony in for just a minute?
I think so. And my legs are asleep because I now I was sitting on them.
Because
I don't know if I want to come in now.
I want to go ahead and play our video one more time so you can see it as well. And then Christina gets to go first because Tony always talks more. And what was recreating you in Crete meaning to you? Let's just watch at Titan Productions with a Z.com. And you know what my auction house said to me about them? They said, absolutely. I don't know who this video guy is, but whatever he does to create for you, he must really love you. And it comes out in your frequency. Isn't that what happened? That is a perfect example. Let's watch and give Robert Towns a little bit of love again. Christina, what just came out of your spirit when you saw that again?
It was amazing. Like it was peaceful. We got to connect. We got to connect with each other, with ourselves again, you know, be disconnected from the rest of the world. It was a beautiful place.
And notice it was that beautiful dress that captivated Robert that he put you in the video. Okay, Dream Maker, I can't thank you enough for letting me said she's got to be there and you saying yes and trusting me. What came up for you when you saw everything?
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was one of those things that you remember forever. I mean, picture the most gorgeous, I mean, you were there, you know, but people watching at home, the most gorgeous mountain cliff and a yoga studio built into the cliff. That's where we did the majority of the event, right? 6 out of 7 of the days. They're learning a different pillar every day. And they're most of the time meditating and just learning incredible knowledge from Dr. Jim, from Dr. Jody. And then the fellowship walking downstairs with the beautiful Aegean Sea right there. And, you know, us being served food 3 times a day. And it was exquisite. It was amazing. And us doing these walks in the morning, walking up and down the mountains and the cliffs and these gorgeous rooftops and everything. It was amazing. It's something you wish you could take and put it in your backyard. It's something you see on the calendar. And we were there for a week, and the knowledge was incredible. And I would say at the end of the day, it's right, the application of knowledge is what is power, right? And the application of accurate knowledge, and that's what we got there.
Well, and frankly, when you think about it, that and I have not said this. I didn't say this with Dr. Talk, the first show. You know, that first jump off where you see the Mediterranean, the Aegean Sea right there. Mm-hmm. That's where when I wasn't here, when I was by myself, because I was there 3 days to make sure everything was right. That's where I jumped in feet first. I jumped into that part of the cliff, off of the cliff. And because many times, haven't you felt like this, Marianne, in your life, that I felt like I was going to jump off a cliff? Well, I just decided I was going to at this point. So I jumped off the cliff and I swam around to that lagoon. That was my one big adventure. I said, I'm going to do this. And it was amazing. The adrenaline that I felt, y'all, by the time I got to the water, it was not cold. You figure? But the most important thing, you can go to places and locations. We could have done this in Albany, Georgia. Okay, for real. And it would have been the same thing because we learned how to be like the cat, didn't we, Christina and Marianne and Tony? We learned how to be cool, calm, collected than that cat. And then what we have manifested when we said in our promo, what you will bring back as you will return will guard and reward you for the days of your lives. Think about it, Tony. What rewarded you by being there and taking the trip? And Christina, as Marianne was there, didn't I say if you bring a team member? Now, Marianne's going to be in the movie, the Art Manifestation movie and documentary coming out in my goodness gracious, in the first quarter of 2026. Now, I've got to go ahead, give me 1 minute here because it timed out when you had to come back in, but it's okay. We're going to figure this out, and we're not going to do it this way. But how did you come up, Tony, with this idea with the art of manifestation?
Thank you for that. I mean, I've had the idea since 2016. It started not as a manifestation, but as a download, really. And the download is tapping into the superconscious, which could or could not be a future movie, by the way, what we're talking about. That being said, people have the ability. They're constantly manifesting their lives, whether they know it or not. This is consciously manifesting, right? It's teaching people the application. I'm a very big believer in teaching people things that are tangible so they can immediately utilize it, right, in their life. And so we have assembled, quite literally, my beautiful wife and I, the greats of the world, the ones from The Secret, the ones, the Bruce Liftons of the world, the Reverend Michael Beckwith, so you name it, right? And then we're taking people like Marianne that has this incredible story that has manifested health and all these beauties in her life, right? That, we're taking them who may not be as well known and putting them with the people that are very well known to bring this beautiful light and these gifts. I feel like we're assembling the Marvel's Avengers, right? It's the most amazing team of superheroes.
And the global Avengers. I'm going to stop you because I think as soon as I click this, it's going to go. Okay?
Let's go, baby.
Can't be reached. The Art of Manifestation Film.com, correct?
Correct. Yes.
So I'm not sure why I didn't do this, but how did you come up with these people? Well, a gazillion people. So that probably has something to do with it.
We live about the website's the Art of Manifestation Film.com. The Art of Manifestation Film.com.
You should put www.
So, and they're actually working on it too for Sunday. They're revamping it even more so. There'll be a donate button. We're taking micro investments for people that have equity actually in the film as well too. The Secret was made
and guess what? You can go ahead and you can join the waiting list. You can be on the red carpet. Let's watch this as we said. Ooh, enable sound.
You got me in suspense. I don't know if we're not seeing it.
And we entered the circle now, didn't we? You enter that circle and we will never be the same. So, I mean, and those events, so I'm just going to tell y'all, you just got to be with this tribe because we are this vibe. So let me just bring Marianne back in here. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow. And I want to say that Art of Manifestation film, it's there, it's here. I'm bringing it up right now. But most importantly, you have recreated yourself again because you have a different vibe. So I want everyone to check this out. efab.art. I just gave you a referral today. And they're going to be contacting you. So how did you go from this and what you're doing with all of that and being a Kalingi Lini, which I don't know this form, but I know when I get down to Pompano and get my move completed that I will. How did you make this pivot to art and yachts?
Well, I did have an art gallery prior. I had a brick and mortar. So moving to Florida, I did sell the art gallery, the building, and the business. And I was in Italy writing my book on Padre Pio, and Aldo Canner, who owns several galleries in Ravello and a publishing house and a museum, approached me to represent Italian artists. So he really did open the door for me. So in that fact, I was just going to represent Italian artists, his artist from Ravello, or not just from Ravello, but from Italy. And then when I got back home, I'm thinking I should expand this a little bit more. I get downloads at night, and when I wake up in the morning, I get ideas to do.
Well, you know that gallbladder thing at 3 a.m. in the morning. It's the second brain. Okay.
Exactly. So I had the idea that I should go global. So, and I did, and I started doing that. And then with meeting Harrison, and with Tony, I met Emmy and Colum, and now they're partners with me on EFAB and helping it go. We're going to take this, we're going to soar with it. And also with the yachting. Yeah, importing, exporting yachts from Amalfi Coast to Southern Florida.
And then let's see what else are we going to do? Well, we're just going to be getting Italian citizenship. Why not create your dream? Why not manifest?
Yeah, any day now, really.
and you've heard me say this a couple of times when we were in Crete. Whoa, manifest, because it's a woman's manifest, and you just go with the flow. Or I wanted to bring this up because this was my quote from our book, The Essence of a Woman. And I can't find it right now. So I'm just going to tell it to you and share it with you, because when you know that when you immerse yourself in the flow of who you are and how you are becoming, see, you immediately, you are, okay. You just are a full on. And then it's your how, and then it's that be. It's that be how, and there's more to becoming, and you're more to becoming and more to becoming. So if you were to just share with our, and by the way, she's going to have this big deal, an after party at the Boat and Yacht Show in March, and she's going to be showing up in December. Who knows what she's going to be doing there? But what this really brings about to me with you is that you have so many facets to who you are, and you are just comfortable in your own blue, whether it's your pink lace dress that you're going to wear tomorrow night. When I happen to be, I thought, oh, I better get dressed up. It's just not my caftans I'm wearing in the Middle East. Okay, I got to get a different dress because Marianne's dressing up. But it's the idea is that you just are comfortable and you just go with the flow. And so it's that immersing yourself. So this is someone that you'll get to meet Princess Marianne very soon. But I love her quote. A woman is just not the whispers of her soul, but it's the elegant grace that echoes through eternity. And that is how you echo. That's who you are. It is so apparent that you were to be part of our world. And that's why there was a gnawing in my soul. And we've just, as I said, just begun to scratch the scratch. But I know you've just begun to scratch the scratch with this new and amazing career and this next venture. So what are you excited about with this, from Italy to Florida, and then it's going to be art again, art with a start. So why are you excited about this?
I do love giving artists a platform to show their work. And it's really about abundance as well. I really do want to be abundant, and not just in a selfish way. There's a lot of things that I have that I want to do. And part of our website is 10% goes to water wells. I'm very concerned about our water, but also then child trafficking. We talked about that, and the children that possibly will be needing a place to stay. So the more abundant I am, I already have sworn a 10% to charitable, to these charities. So I'm just hoping for the abundance, and I know it's going to happen.
Because it's just like the trees.
And I want to tell the story. The story needs to come out. The story of my healing and the story of not just what I've been through, but what the graces God has given. It's not about me. It's about grace. It's all about grace.
What
it's
happened.
Not about me. Mm-hmm.
It's about thee and not me. So if you want to be a part and get your as we say, the sugar rebate at 50% off something that could have been at 50,000. I know that courses like this usually go for 50 grand and up. To even say that we did it for 10 was ridiculous. The fact that you can get it at 50%, what a deal. But it's not about the money. It's what you'll come away with. So Miss Spiritual Being in a Human Experience, if you were going to share one tip of wisdom that is your life's milkshake moment that you live by, and it is your cry, what would it be?
When you get knocked down, that's your opportunity to get back up again stronger. So don't look at it as that it was a problem. Look at it was an obstacle you needed to get through to learn from. And then once you do rise from that, dust yourself off, go positive, and know that you will get through it. And you become stronger. It's just your soul becomes stronger and stronger and stronger. So crosses are to be blessed and to be embraced.
And
the graces come.
I'm going to just say Mother, Daughter, and Holy Spirit. We're going to change it up for the women because it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month for you. Yeah. So Marianne, thank you for gracing us. Thank you, Tony and Christina, for photobombing this. Thank you everyone up there that decided we were going to have our little detour with the who cares what the announcements are every 10 minutes. Who cares? Because we care that this message got out. We care that you are that guiding light. The guiding Gallasco light. Ooh, that's Gallasco. Yes, the Gallasco light. Oh, that's fun. Who knew that? But as we say at Healthopedia, see, I say it's Hap Tribe because guess what? We're happy. And that is you. Happy, joyous, just a beautiful soul to be around. I'm so excited for us to go on this journey together. As we say, ladies and gentlemen, each and every day, make it a great Healthopedia kind of day. Ciao for now.
Woman up, 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 up.